Last night was actually a very good night for boxing. Paul versus Silva was on, Ortiz Lomachenko, one of my favorite fighters, Nico Ali Walsh was on. Let's go ahead and grade their performances. Starting off with Uriah Hall versus Le'Veon Bell. At first I was actually very impressed with Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he looked like he knew what he was doing, and I believe this was his first pro debut fight, at least for a sanctioned fight. And he looked like he was a natural. He was jabbing away at Uriah Hall's body. And Uriah Hall at first, it looked like he was confused. He didn't really know how to time him. He was definitely having a hard time with Le'Veon Bell's movement. But eventually Uriah Hall just started catching him, was able to pressure him, and he just started landing bombs. It was pretty much, the fight was over after that. Honestly, and this is just me being honest, I was very disappointed with Uriah Hall's performance. I thought he was going to go in there and actually stop Le'Veon Bell. And overall, the fight was and his performance, I'm going to rate it a 6 out of 10. The fight was very lackluster, the fans were booing, and honestly, I was more impressed with Le'Veon Bell than Uriah Hall. Next on the list is a prospect that I'm really high on, Nico Ali Walsh. Everybody knows because ESPN says it a million times per broadcast. This is the grandson of Muhammad Ali. He started off really well. He definitely got hit way too much for my comfort, but hey, what are you gonna do? The kid is still very young. I believe he's only 22 years old, so he's got years and years to improve. I do like that Nico focuses on the body. I swear to God, body shots is a lost art in the sport of boxing nowadays. And I like the way he works his way on the inside. He doesn't go in all crazy. He works behind the jab. I'm going to go ahead and rate this performance a 7.5 out of 10. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Nico. He's going to be a very good fighter. Next on the list is Lomachenko versus Jermaine Ortiz. I was very curious to see how the time away from the ring had affected Lomachenko. And to be quite honest with you, he didn't look like Loma last night. I'm not sure if Jermaine Ortiz is just that good or if Loma is just slowing down. What I saw last night is a Lomachenko that potentially gets beaten by guys like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis. I see a vulnerable Lomachenko. I'm one of the people that felt that Jermaine Ortiz probably could have gotten this one, but you know, I'm okay with it. It was a very close fight. In my opinion, no guy really established their dominance, and it really wasn't one of those fights where it was like, wow, pure domination clearly from one guy. I'm gonna go ahead and grade this fight a 7 out of 10. I just felt that wasn't the best Lomachenko in there, and even himself, he pretty much admitted that that wasn't his best and he needed more time for preparation. Last but not least on the list is a fight that I actually found much more entertaining than I anticipated. Jake the Problem Child Paul versus Anderson the Spider Silva. These two had a war last night. I'm talking about Anderson Silva at 47 years old. Let me remind you, 47 years old. Brought the pain to Jake Paul. This man was touching up Jake Paul like I've never seen him touched up before. Going into the 5th round, I had it 4-0 Anderson Silva, but then Jake Paul finally started landing. Jake Paul seemed to finally catch a second win, and then he won the next of the 4 rounds in my scorecards, and with the knockdown, he sealed the deal. I'm going to go ahead and give Jake Paul a 6 out of 10. Let me remind you, this was an almost 50-year-old Anderson Silva. He should have been stopped in the 1st or 2nd round. The fact that it actually went the distance, that's just a bad look for Jake Paul. If that was any other legitimate, I'm talking about even a C level ranked at the lowest possible, he would have stopped Jake Paul.